Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Cancer Soul Illumination reading for the sign of Cancer. This is I Am Illuminated tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi, everyone, and welcome. Now, Cancer, I know it's been a while since I've posted a video. I do just want to let you know that the camera had a little momentary blip, and the first card that came out was the Queen of Wands, but it's already here on the table. So for those of you who are wondering why that's there, that is the reason. Now, in this reading, Cancer, for those of you who are new to my channel, we will be taking a look at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. Then we'll dive a little deeper into a block or a challenge, especially an emotional block around that area of focus. We'll look at advice from Spirit as to how to overcome that, and then we'll look at a level of abundance that's waiting to come in for you on the other side. For those of you who are interested in booking a personal reading, the information is in the description box below, and I do book both remote and in-person readings for those who are interested. All right, let's get into it. So, Cancer, we have the Queen of Wands as the energy you're coming in with. This is very powerful, very potent energy. I like to call the Queen of Wands someone who really brings in that energy of the witch archetype, someone who kind of just seems to manifest through sheer will. It's also someone that I like to say is ready to bloom where they're planted, meaning they show up uniquely as they are and where they are, and they allow the right people, the right circumstances, and the right events to kind of be attracted towards them. There's a sense of kind of holding your ground while also putting your passions out there for others to see, putting your most authentic self out there. Now, the area of focus that your soul wants to illuminate for you right now is death. Sorry, guys, is the Death card. Now, don't be afraid. We're not looking at a reading that is focusing on a premonition or focused on predicting the future and that there's going to be death. This is looking at the energy of death and transformation, meaning that there is something in your life right now that is basically needing to be released. Something that's been waiting, energy in your life that's waiting to be transformed to allow for growth into the new. And you guys are very ready for that with the Queen of Wands energy here. She is someone who would very much be the individual who could take kind of almost like barren ground. And actually that's part of the card here. She holds the sunflower to signify that she's able, and you can kind of see back here, that she's in a desert landscape. It looks like the pyramids behind her, but she's able to grow something in a barren desert landscape simply because she wills it. So keep that in mind. Cancer, if you're feeling like you can't see a way forward or you can't see how you're going to release something and grow something new, you have the ability to do it. Now, we have the Ace of Wands underscored by the Six of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords is the gift we get when we go through the process of the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is the final outcome of a long, I'd like to call it a long cycle, where we get to a point where something kind of brings us to our knees, or we get to the point where we can no longer do something in our life because it has just become too burdensome for us to continue going in that direction. And the beauty of going through that moment is that you get to then move forward with the Ace of Swords, and you get to start a fresh cycle again. And the Ace of Swords represents clarity of self. It can be the realization of what you went through and the lesson learned that you get to take forward. Six of Cups here speaks to making peace with the past. For some of you, there might have been something in the past that was very difficult. And with the Ace of Swords coming in, I feel like that clarity is coming from being able to either A, reconnect with a more authentic, possibly innocent version of yourself. That can be the Six of Cups, where we're going back to a version of ourselves and bringing a gift emotionally from that point forward. Or we're able to actually make peace with something from the past. And that in and of itself, sometimes it can be forgiveness. Sometimes it can be finally just seeing something from the past in a new perspective, and suddenly we have this realization and we can kind of let it go. And now you're moving forward with clarity, with a new truth, and with the ability to really bloom where you're planted. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a few additional cards here to really look at where that emotional block might be happening for you. Then we'll dive a little deeper into the advice, and then we'll look at the level of abundance that's waiting to come in. Okay, so we do have the Three of Swords coming out as your main point of challenge. That would make sense, especially with the Ten of Swords present there. Now, the Three of Swords, I like to look at the Three of Swords as the echo of the Ten of Swords that comes through. The Three of Swords are the thoughts of our failures of the past that come forward and haunt us, that kind of keep circling in our mind like ghosts that pop up when we think we've finally healed from something, and then there's that voice that comes in and says, remember last time you got hurt? Remember last time you got fired? Remember last time they broke up with you? And those thoughts then they come down and they pierce us in our emotional state, in our heart. It really shows that kind of mind-heart connection there. And I think for many of you, there's been a sense of having to really heal from past wounds, of having to face maybe these thoughts that have come in that have made you feel less than. And then we have the Sun. This is beautiful energy. This is the energy of true illumination of the self, of your most innocent, joyful self. And it's almost like for some of you, you've been going through a very dark period and it's like the light has come on. Now, sometimes when the light comes on, that can be painful, right? When we've been going through a period where we've just kind of been getting by, or we've had to kind of feel like we've gone through this tough cycle, and then suddenly it's like the sun comes out and it's blinding and we need to put those sunglasses on. Now, the sun can also represent children in your life. It can represent a childlike energy or a Leo. So take that as it resonates. But there's definitely a sense here around it. This is a time coming in of healing. Ooh. So I'll let you guys know there's a big storm front that's just moved in. I have thunder and pelting rain out there, so very interesting. Definitely one of our soon-to-be summer storms here. So now at the heart of your reading, we have Seven of Swords followed by the Eight of Swords. There is a little bit of what the Spirit's asking you to really look at here, I think for some of you, is where you've been avoiding something. Where have you not wanted to see something? Because the Seven of Swords is a card of avoidance. It's one where we're either trying to get away with something, meaning, again, we're trying to avoid facing a truth, we're trying to avoid maybe facing a consequence, or facing just something that we need to make a decision on. And the Eight of Swords coming in after that is a card that really speaks, I like to call it a card of our like negative mental programming, where we're kind of just, we can't see a way out. We keep trying to think through something and we kind of keep ending right back up at square one. And it's because I often look at this from how I use it in my practice as almost like a therapeutic tool when this card comes out. This is when someone has almost had to create a little safe haven in their head to not allow them to move forward because there was a time of healing that was needed. Meaning there's something that you weren't able to see, or something you weren't able to kind of see your way through because you weren't meant to, because there was that needed. It's almost like putting up boundaries in your mind of I can't go there and I can't go there. But there's a sense here of either the joy of a child bringing this out for some of you, which definitely could be the case with the Three of Swords and the Sun, that there might have been a time of darkness and pain, but a child coming into your life has allowed kind of the light to come back into your life experience, or has changed you in some capacity. Or this could be literally that you have finally come out of a very difficult cycle, kind of a time of darkness, a time of struggle, and now the sun has come out and you've seen a version of yourself that maybe perhaps you haven't seen in quite some time. And that could be connected directly to the Six of Cups here, which is going back to a past version of yourself and reconnecting with that, the innocent, true inner you, before all of the Three of Swords came in to kind of pierce your heart, meaning the part of yourself that thought you could do anything when you were a child, before the reality of certain circumstances told you couldn't. And there's that sense of really being able now to break free from whatever this mental kind of entrapment you've created for yourself, to embrace the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is what's waiting to come in for you. The Nine of Cups is abundance on an emotional level. It's also where we get to make that wish. We get to make the wish for the 10th cup. And the 10th cup is our true heart's fulfillment in the physical experience, meaning we really get a chance to feel that what it would feel like to have our heart full. It can sometimes be seen as a happy family card as well, that we have so much joy in our life that we can then give to others, including children. But there is this sense here of kind of getting into that place of really allowing yourself to break through this mental kind of entrapment that you've been I do feel put yourself in while you were going through a very difficult period. But now there's a sense of being able to let the light in, and there's a sense of being able to lean into making that wish happen, to really connect you to that last piece of the puzzle. What is that for you? And therein is going to be where you see what has passed. Most likely after the Ten of Swords, a version of yourself has passed, and there's a new version emerging. Temperance is the secondary underlying energy. Ooh, listen to that thunder if you can hear it. Temperance is the secondary underlying energy. And this card for me represents two things. It represents our need to balance aspects of our life, to temper them together. So this is, for me, I often look at as tempering our passions and tempering that with our emotions. So realizing how those two things are integrally linked. We cannot move forward and take action without us having some type of emotional connection to the why. Why are we choosing to do something? And we can't also just do without, or we can't just, feel without taking action. So there's we need to have both. They need to be put together. But you're also bringing those things together to possibly do something in a new way. There's also a sense, too, of divine timing. Temperance comes in, especially with the number 14. There's a sense of freedom through change that comes forward with the number 14. So keep that in mind, that there's a change needed here. And for many of you, it's balancing your emotions with your passions, choosing to move forward in a new way. And this is saying that now there is a divinity to the timing cycle of releasing something now so that you can start something new. Now we're going to dive a little deeper. I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. We're going to take a look at what's happening with the Three of Swords. What is this pain from your past that keeps coming through? I saw the Fountain card peek out there. Now the Fountain card in this deck, I like to look at as, for those of you who know quantum physics, it's kind of like the 0 point field, I feel. It's where we get to that place, the true underlying magic to our life, what animates all of us and connects us all at the same time. Now for the Three of Swords, we have the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Coins. Yeah, for some of you, you've been carrying a burden for quite some time where you feel like one of two things. Either you don't have enough. The 5 of Pentacles can feel like we are always on our own. We don't have support. This can be a kind of a lack mentality where we always feel like we don't have enough time, energy, support, money, anything in the physical that makes us feel kind of like we're on the outside having to do everything ourselves. And with the 10 of Wands, that's exactly what that speaks to, carrying a heavy burden yourself, one that at this point has become too hard for you to carry all on your own. And so there is some wounding around feeling like you've had to do it all yourself, and maybe feeling that at the end of the day you've had to do it all yourself and maybe you don't have a lot to show for it. But there is something here around, I think, just feeling like you're the one that's had to do it all, and yet it's left you out in the cold, or that there's a general lack of support and you just have to keep shouldering that burden. Now with the Sun, we have the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords, that's Libran energy. It's the energy of someone who knows their story. The Queen of Swords tells the story of the Ten of Swords with the Ace of Swords to an individual who asks her about her life experience. She explains what she went through, what she survived, the lessons that she's learned, and how she's able to apply that, and how that defines her as an individual. Now we also have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. So there's Libra and Sagittarius. For some of you, these could actually represent people in your life that have maybe allowed you to see something about yourself in a new light. But this can also be where you're telling a story around, perhaps, I think this is like where the lights come on for some of you. I'm just seeing somebody like literally turning on a light. There's a sense of freedom, of wanting to liberate yourself from the Ten of Wands to become the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is the individual who puts down that heavy burden, and he goes out with one wand and he's ready to explore. He's ready to do what feels good. It's kind of he's one of those individuals at the drop of a hat, he's going to try something new. He's going to go on that trip. He's going to take up rock climbing. He's going to try, underwater basket weaving, whatever it is. But there is a sense here, I think, for some of you of realizing maybe where you haven't felt this kind of freedom. And maybe the lesson learned from the Ten of Swords of where it's time now to allow that into your life experience. So let's see here with the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords, this is Spirit asking you to really look at and here's the Ace of Swords again. There it is. The Seven of Swords is basically coming through in this position here. This is Spirit asking you to face something within yourself, to face what you've been trying not to see, not to admit, not to acknowledge, and to realize the Ace of Swords that's coming through here. That part of yourself that's waiting, that innocent part of yourself, the part of yourself that wants to just do what feels good and have fun, have that sense of freedom, and the realization of the past cycle where you did not feel that, where you felt like you had to do everything yourself, and yet you were still overburdened. You still were brought to your knees. You still had to go through that difficult time. And it's saying, it's time now to face the truth of that. What did you learn going through that cycle? And what is it time to focus on growing more of in your life? How can you finally, once and for all, release that? Release that time, release that difficult period, and step into the light. Sometimes we can go through such a long period of time where we're just kind of getting through it, getting by it. Oh, yeah. We had the Fool, the Tower, and the Nine of Wands. Yep. Sometimes we go through such a long period of time where we're just kind of like every day, just getting through the day and getting through the next day. And we'll all, no matter where we are in our life, we'll have periods where we have to kind of go through it at that pace and in that way. But there's a sense here of now you have a chance to kind of bring things back into your control. You have a new cycle starting here. And especially with the Fool and the Tower, there's that sense of there is that fresh start. There's the leap into the new. The Tower, something had to fall, something had to crumble to allow you to be able to see the way forward, to see. That's what allowed the light to come in. Something had to crumble to allow the light to come in, to make you realize where you've been holding yourself back, where there's a lack of freedom, and probably where there's been a lack of change in your life. The Nine of Wands speaks to burnout. It speaks to a long road to get to this point. And I think for many of you, that burnout could have been the Tower moment of, I just can't go any further. I just can't do this anymore. Eight of Swords. Two of Cups. Intimate connection, support, partnership. Knight of Cups. Beautiful. This is saying that to see your way through. I think for many of you, perhaps you protected yourself for some time from true, intimate, vulnerable connection with others. The Knight of Cups is Piscean energy. It is the energy of someone who goes out optimistically, almost with like rose-colored glasses on, to connect with others on that emotional level. There's a sense of kind of going on that, seeing life as the grand romantic adventure that it is. And that's how you can break this kind of, I think, where you've held yourself back a little bit, couldn't see the way forward. And it says to see the way forward means that you have to start emotionally connecting with others. that it's time to come out. It's time to optimistically allow yourself to start connecting again. And that can be hard, especially when we've been hurt in the past or when we've gone through something very difficult. It can be where we pull back from others in our life. Or it can be where maybe we felt that loss of support, that lack of support significantly. And yet it's saying, but now there's a time for you to go out and seek it. And that in turn will help you reconnect or connect with the Nine of Cups in your life. All that you have to be grateful for, and then some. Now with the Hierophant and the Seven of Swords, here we go. That the Seven of Swords coming in again shows that there's a level of commitment that some of you are running from. Hierophant is our belief systems. It can also be a true change in our belief systems, and some of you might be choosing to turn away from that. The Hierophant can also represent things like marriage. So there could be a marriage that we are not wanting to fully commit to or trying to kind of turn our back to. But there could be a level of just in general, a level of commitment here to yourself, maybe not wanting to see how much your own perspective has changed, because the Hierophant is also the High Priest. And that really speaks to our own ability to kind of, on a spiritual level, be able to see, to really own up to the things that we choose to believe in our life. And sometimes that needs to be where we need to believe in ourselves. We need to believe in our own spirit, our own, the High Priest can almost be like the guru, right? We have to trust our own guru, our own, what we believe, what our perspective is, what we know we need, and the higher vision for ourselves that kind of keeps us going. And I think for some of you, there could be a little bit of turning away from that. Now, at the bottom of this third deck here, we have the Queen of Cups. That's you, Cancer. This is your card in the tarot. This is the card of the unconditionally loving mother, but it's also the card of an individual who holds her needs, her dreams, her wants first. She holds them sacred, and it's a card that really speaks to honoring the needs of the self, of self-care. And that she understands that when she meets her needs first, she is then able to meet and help share that love with others, to meet the needs that others need of her. And I think for some of you, there's a realization here of understanding what you need for yourself and how that's going to allow you to really, I think, moving towards whatever this final wish is for yourself. And that wish could be getting married to someone. That wish could be leaping into something new, where a part of your life, this could be leaving a job. This could be leaving a way of being. It could be leaving a family dynamic. But there's something here where the Seven of Swords, the Hierophant coming through, there's a sense of not wanting, an avoidance of committing to the dream. That's really what's coming through strongly here, is committing to the dream. What is that 10th cup? And all that you have to be grateful for, what is the 10th cup? The Holy Grail. In a way, I kind of see with the Two of Cups and the Knight of Cups here, there's a sense of that kind of quest for the Holy Grail, of it's out there, it's waiting for you. It just takes your belief in what that Holy Grail represents. And are you ready to go in search of it? Are you ready to commit to it? Okay. I'm going to pull an energy oracle card here, and I'll pull some additional clarifiers. We'll dive a little deeper into the message. But this is committing to a belief system, committing to a new version. When we go through kind of a death cycle, I like to call it a death cycle. It doesn't mean that someone has died or that you will die. It means that we go through a cycle where it is so life-changing that we come out the other side as a different person, literally. And that would involve a change in our perspective, a change in our beliefs, and possibly even a change for the vision of our future self. And there's something where it's time to kind of turn and face the music, Cancer. And I'm speaking to myself as well, because I am a Cancer rising. it is time to kind of turn and face the music and realize it's a time to come out and connect, but it's a time to come out and connect from what you're passionate about, from what makes you feel free, from honoring your needs and not repeating a cycle where you've had to put those by the wayside for others. Okay, so we have Angel of Balance. Yes, this is the Temperance card in this deck. So it's coming through again. There's a sense of really bringing through that balance of whatever was off balance here with the Ten of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. There's a sense of now bringing that into balance, that if you were overworked and ignoring your own needs, it's time to make that change. If you were someone who maybe always carried everything in a relationship and yet it never worked out, well, now it's time to change that up and find someone. First, meet your own needs to then be able to find someone that you can go on that romantic quest to find, who is going to then help bring that balance into your life, that you already know the needs you need to have met, and you're not going to enter into that relationship with someone new until you find someone who's ready to support you on that. But there's a sense of committing to that. If that's the journey, if that's the dream, then it's time for you to commit to that dream. There's a sense of committing to the dream. And finally, once and for all, releasing that part of you that died in the past cycle. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple clarifiers just to see what wants to come out with this Angel of Balance, and then we'll pull a final card for you, Cancer. What does Cancer need to know about the Angel of Balance? Ooh, the Lovers. I love that. Yeah, there's a sense, for some of you, this is literally committing to new love or committing to a love in your life and having to really kind of face perhaps all of the past hurt from another cycle. But this could also be embracing someone in your life that you love. It could be embracing and committing to what you love. And there's the fresh start. There's the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, this is a new cycle of love, of what you love, of who you love, and therein lies the fresh start, the new opportunity. And that could, for some of you, this could literally be the quest to find, the perfect partner, the perfect romantic partner. This could be the quest to reconnect and start a new cycle with a current partner. Or this could be moving forward and finally committing to the dream, what you love, and therein, in what you love and committing to that, there's that fresh start. Okay, we'll pull one more final card before we complete this. And actually, you know what I just realized I didn't do, which I normally do? I didn't read the description for the Angel of Balance. So let's go and take a look at that here. If I can find it. Number 48. It says, being centered and self-honoring in your choices. This loving presence holds a pitcher of liquid light in front of the pyramids, reminding you that a strong destiny relies on a solid foundation of personal balance and emotional equanimity. Although things may have been out of sync in the past, this card is telling you that a greater equilibrium is now coming into your life. Remain conscious about how you are balancing your goals and your physical and emotional energy as well. Whenever you feel yourself getting off center or losing focus, call upon this beautiful angel and bring her intention into your heart center. Your intuition will lead you in the right direction, and the angel will guide you to a peaceful and centered approach. I love that. Yeah, there's a sense of really bringing that sense of feeling like you're in a state of balance into all of your decision making. And that's going to guide you to what feels good towards, again, what you love. Okay, let's go ahead here and pull your final card. What does Cancer need to know as their last message, what does Cancer need to know? Now, I do like to have the cards come out authentically for me. So, here we go. Okay. Ooh, I like this. So we have 2 cards. We have surrender your attachment to results and surrender procrastination. I do like this. Yeah, and that procrastination goes hand in hand with that 7 of Swords. It says it's time to commit. It's time to commit, Cancer, to the dream. It says surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. And then it says, surrender procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. And that kind of goes right back to the Queen of Wands here. There's a sense of the time is now. There's a sense of she attracts to her those right people and circumstances and events by simply showing up as herself, by choosing to seize the day today. And I love the surrender your attachment to results, because sometimes that can be so difficult for us, right? We want to commit, and yet then we sit there and we say, well, what if it doesn't exactly look the way that I want it? It's not, what if that person isn't exactly, where I expect them to come from into my life? Or what if this new job goal that I have, like, where's it all going to go? And there's a sense of, don't worry about that. As long as you are following what you love, with the Ace of Pentacles, the new opportunities are going to show themselves. And trust me, life will take us on all kinds of detours. My own life is definitely one of those. As an example, where I thought I was heading in one direction, and I thought what I wanted was going to come in a very specific way, and yet it kind of came in its own strange way. And it's better than I could have anticipated. So that's where we leave ourselves open to the divine and open to our destiny. I liked that the other card did speak to destiny as well. We have to really understand that there is a purpose to our life. There is a destiny. But we also have to be an active participant in that. Destiny is only destiny if we choose to participate in it. So keep that in mind. I hope you all have a wonderful month of June, Cancer. This is a very positive reading. It's just simply waiting for you to make that commitment to yourself, to make the commitment to allow for that dream to come in. All right, I will leave it there. Again, for those of you who'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all for next month's reading. Bye, Cancer.